Hey there, I'm Anthony. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to share with you how I'm currently using time blocking within Todoist to help prevent me from feeling overwhelmed or getting burnt out. I'm realizing that I'm enjoying making these videos with what's currently working in my life right now. And so right now, this is currently what's working in my life. I recently made a video which I've gotten a lot of great feedback from, and it's really encouraged me to just keep making these videos. And so thank y'all so much for all the kind words and the likes and all that. I really truly do appreciate it, just because starting this channel, it still feels a little nerve-wracking. I don't feel as much of an imposter, but it's just been a lot to kind of like, I tend to get too into my head about things. Like, I've started this intro a few different times already, and so all that to say, thank y'all so much. But let's get back to this video. So I made a video talking about how, all the different features of Todoist, why I like using it, all that. Basically, it's the flexibility that it offers. And right now, I'm really loving that flexibility. Typically, I like to use the list view in Todoist and navigate my day that way. Most of the time, I'm grouping by labels, and I kind of just go throughout my day by each section or grouping of tasks based on those labels. But right now, there's a lot going on, and I know, knowing me, I know that's not gonna work for me. Now, side note, side story, whatever. A little over a year ago, I found out and got diagnosed that I have ADHD, which, backtracking the rest of my life since then, everything makes sense. But since learning that, I've been trying to be a lot more aware of myself and how I tend to get. Also learning about ADHD in and of itself, and how other people navigate it and all that has been super helpful. And so right now, at this current point in my life, there is a lot going on, and normally I tend to freak out. And I haven't yet. Now I'm not saying I'm not going to, but right now I haven't. And I'm using time blocking to help prevent that. So right now, yeah, there's just a ton going on. So I'm primarily a wedding photographer. I'm based in Texas. Fall, winter, and spring seasons for me tend to be a little busy, especially the fall though, and that's where we currently are right now. It usually starts up in September, and then right in October it gets real crazy. November, it's also crazy, and then it starts to wind down a little bit throughout December. Photography wise, I've got all the weddings going on, but I also have preparation meetings to prep for those weddings coming up. I've got couples wanting to schedule their engagement sessions for their weddings coming up in the spring. I also have family sessions scheduled. A lot of families like to schedule their family sessions before the holidays so that they can send out holiday cards. I also have new inquiries coming in. There's just a lot to keep up with. And on top of that, there is all the editing involved. So being able to stay on top of the editing, make sure I'm sticking to my turnaround time and delivery time, all that. So business-wise, I'm trying to, stay on top of that. This YouTube channel is super new to me. This is new to my schedule, and I'm super pumped about starting this channel. It still feels a little like nerve-wracking, but I feel like I'm starting to kind of get into my flow a little bit more. I'm starting to get feedback from complete strangers on the internet, good feedback, and it feels encouraging. And so I'm really making it a point to try and stick to publishing, if not one video a week, one video every 2 weeks. And so I'm trying to stick to that, on top of the photography business, because eventually I want to turn this into something that is, 50-50, with alongside my photography business. Now, on top of that, I'm also a husband and a dad. And so there's a lot going on with the school season and like holidays coming up. My wife's schedule with work tends to get pretty busy around this time of year. There's all of that to navigate. And then you got the holidays coming up with like Thanksgiving, and then, you got to do, Christmas shopping, and then you got Christmas, and then you got the New Year. And there's just all these different transitions in between all that. And that is honestly something that I struggle with. Transitions for me are really, really difficult. And what I'm trying to do this year around is be aware of those things and try and minimize the overwhelm so that I don't get burnt out and all that. Lately, it's been really working for me. And so I've been using Todoist to kind of time block my day. Now, you don't have to use Todoist to time block. Like, you can use a paper planner. You can use just your Google Calendar itself and just kind of make events for yourself. But for me personally, I use the paid plan of Todoist and use their calendar integration feature to time block my day. So why am I using time blocking to try and prevent feeling overwhelmed? Well, I get decision fatigue. So I don't like making decisions. I think there's another word like analysis paralysis or whatever. If I've got a ton of options, I don't know what to work on. And then I start to feel overwhelmed, and then I feel drained, and then nothing happens, nothing gets done. And then I feel bad about myself, and then I fall behind. And it's just like this domino effect that, tends to happen. So being able to plan out, spend the extra time to plan out and make these calendar, chunks in time blocks in my calendar to plan out what I'm going to be doing is super helpful, because I can kind of pick based on essentially like priorities. Like, these are high priorities or a high priority kind of time right now in my life of these are things that need to get done, Anthony, put them in your calendar, sort of a situation. So it allows me to not feel so much fatigue with what to work on. But another thing too is when I'm able to time block it, I'm able to see a visual of what is actually possible. Because in my head, I'm like, oh no, I could do that, I could do that, I can do that. But like, honestly, I have no concept of time. And it allows me to kind of visually see what's possible and be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that, and I can kind of do more prioritizing. And also too, like, maybe I thought that I could, but something happened and I got to like rearrange my schedule. But basically it just kind of helps keep me on top of things. Now, time blocking might feel like it's kind of rigid, but honestly it's not. Like, for me, it just allows me to kind of keep everything manageable. So things are going to fall behind and I am going to have to move things around and all that, but it's more of a visual aspect for me, and kind of like seeing, okay, what are my things that I need to be working on and when am I going to be working on them? Where is it going to fit in and all of that. So what I've been doing is, well, typically Sundays for me is an overarching like planning day. So that's a day where I've got a lot of tasks where I just make sure that I'm checking my calendar for these things and updating things and all that. So Sundays is always an overarching kind of planning day for myself. But at the start of the day, I review my calendar first and foremost to kind of see what's going on. So I'll look at my personal calendar. Do I have any certain events going on? This week, for instance, I'm going to a concert, but I'm also picking up and dropping off my son from school a lot more than usual because of my wife's work schedule. And then I also have a wedding coming up this weekend. So I'm just like thinking of like this week in particular. But I also have a way for my photography clients to automatically schedule in a time to meet with me virtually on Google Meet. And so I also go in and will block out time just so that way clients aren't able to schedule in time for me if I know like it's going to be chaotic if someone does book in something. So I'll also go in and block out dates for things like that. So once I've got an idea of what my week is going to be looking like, I'll then go into Todoist and start kind of thinking of, you know, what are the current like big projects that are going on. So like for me right now, big projects are these current clients that I do have. So it's a lot of wedding clients and upcoming family sessions. It's also prepping for these weddings. So there's a lot of tasks for me to make sure I'm charging batteries for my camera, formatting SD cards, making sure backups are going on, scheduling time to edit. And so I'm kind of like thinking of those things like, you know, in a general sense. And what I'm kind of doing is giving them a general date, like, okay, Wednesday, you know, is not looking too crazy. Okay, I'm gonna do that on this day. Tuesday, I'm gonna have a lot of alone time, so I'm gonna record today's video. I'm probably not gonna edit today, but you know, so I'm kind of like thinking of these things in a broad sense and just giving them a date. And then from there, I open up my upcoming view in Todoist, and then from there I kind of start mapping out everything. So right here, this is my current today view. So right now I'm working on this video. You know, it took me a little while to kind of get in the flow of things, so like I'm already a little bit behind, so I'm actually going to add in a little bit of extra time. I might not edit after the video. I might push that to another day. So I kind of have this open time right now. But right now, that's what we're doing. We're editing. And so later on, I've got an email that I need to respond to for a client. And then this is a big thing for me. I've got review upcoming tasks and plan out tomorrow's tasks. So I've already worked this into my schedule. So I've got review upcoming tasks, which is a filter that I made that one shows me anything that's in my inbox, so that way I can kind of categorize it, give it a label, put it in a project, maybe schedule it, give it a priority, get it out of the inbox. And then it only has 3 days for me to kind of like look. So I can kind of look at a glance of, all right, what are the things kind of like going on? And if I need to, like, I had put this as a someday maybe thing. I don't need to do this. Like, I shouldn't be spending money. So I'm going to put this as a no date. And so, you know, from there, I can kind of see, is this manageable or not? And I can kind of like move things around. So once I've done that, and I'm actually gonna like check this off because I'm doing it as I'm making the video. Good job, Anthony. Okay, and then from there I've got plan out tomorrow's tasks, and that's kind of like where I go to the upcoming view. So then I'll go into the upcoming view and look at basically the next day. I mean, I will kind of like see everything at a glance, but for the most part, I just try and, you know, do one day at a time and kind of go from there. Like, for instance, I had editing this wedding for today, but I decided I wanted to record this video today. So I pushed it off to tomorrow. And so I'm not quite sure. I'm probably going to work on it around then. And then from there, let's see. My sit-stand desk, I've got an error message and I need to, it's going to be a whole process to like move it so that way I can reset it and all that. And I don't know if I'm gonna do it tomorrow, but I'm gonna feel ambitious and say that I'll try and do it tomorrow. And I'm gonna set out an hour for me to do it because I know it's gonna be a lot, and then I'm gonna be hungry. And I just haven't adjusted to this new time change. That's another thing going on, is like I just feel so tired right now. I've been sleeping a lot more than usual, and I still feel so tired. My body is just freaking out with this time change. It'll be fine eventually, but so that's other things that I'm kind of like keeping in mind. But yeah, I've had to move my time when I roughly eat lunch to be earlier, and then I'm gradually kind of like making it later in the day. Anyway, that's a side note. But I'll probably eat lunch after that. I also am close to delivering photos, and so I'm going to give myself a chunk of time to send those photos. I'm going to actually review my planning filter at that point. That's another kind of what that is roughly kind of the same view as the one I was showing you, except it's not a 3-day view. It's just errands and that sort of thing that aren't scheduled that I need to do. And so honestly, I don't think there's anything on there that I can really take action on, but I'm going to schedule it anyway. I also need to prep some stuff for the wedding coming up, and I'm going to spend probably 30 minutes on it, but I'm going to schedule 45. So that's another tip for you, is schedule more time than you know you're going to need, just because it gives you extra buffer time. And so, yeah, schedule extra time. And then I also am going to try and send some photos to the wedding vendors for this wedding that I did. The couple already has their photos, and so I'm going to try and send them those photos. I'm going to give some more buffer time in between all that. Now I've also got these up here. So if you notice, there's these tasks that have like a dotted sort of check mark, circle, what have you. Those are tasks that are repeating but haven't been done for today, essentially. You can turn this off, actually. So I think if you go to View, you go to Future Occurrences, and you can check this off. And so that prevents you from kind of like seeing everything. So if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, you can turn that off, and it'll only show up, the actual repeating tasks that you have that you can kind of like move and all that. I, at this point in my life, like to kind of keep it on because it's more of a visual thing for me to kind of like see. Now you'll notice up here, like even for today, I've got Refill Roboto, which is our automatic cat feeder thing. I need to refill, I need to top it off basically before the cats freak out and it's empty one day. And then I also need to take out the trash and empty the litter box. Typically with chores, I don't give them a time blocking, a piece in the schedule, just because I want to use I want to use like breaks when I'm working to do chores. Being that I work from home, I've got the ability to do that. And so, I tend to do that for my breaks, is do little chores. And so I don't schedule those out. And then I've got the rest of my day. I don't really have too much going on for the rest of the day for me. Once again, I'm just trying to be considerate of, all right, the time has changed. It's going to be darker later, or darker earlier. You might feel tired. There might be a lot going on. I'm also cooking dinner tonight. There's different things that I need to take in consideration, but also mainly I'm probably going to be tired. And so I'm trying to just like take the rest of my evening easy. So same for tomorrow, but I'm also going to go to a show, and so I know that when I'm going to schedule the day after that concert, I'm going to be tired because I'm going to be out late, and so I know not to schedule quite as much, or schedule things I know I'm not going to need a lot of brain power essentially to kind of like do things. And so right there I've got prep gear for the wedding coming up, that sort of thing. And so that's kind of like how I'm using the upcoming view to kind of like plan out my basically week ahead. Now I know I can tend to ramble quite a bit, and so I'm gonna go ahead and like stop right there, but that's essentially like what I'm doing to kind of help prevent me from feeling overwhelmed and help prevent me from getting burnt out. And I say it that way because I don't want to say that this is gonna like be the end all be all for all that. I do feel a lot more tired than normal, but that's because there is a lot on my plate, but also too, like, it's the time change. And so I'm essentially just trying to like just stay afloat, you know, like take it easy, like just keep moving, instead of just like going downhill and like cry at the end of the week, you know, and like feel too overwhelmed and like not want to start and like I'm just ready to give up. Like I can be so dramatic. But I just wanted to kind of share what I'm currently doing right now, and that's this time blocking. So if you're like me right now and kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed, try giving time blocking a try. I'm surprised I made it through saying that. Try giving now I can't say anymore. Try giving time blocking a try and see if it works for you to kind of help stay afloat and just kind of like navigate. You don't have to do time blocking all the time. Once again, that's why I like using Todoist, is because it lets you, flip, between different views and all that. Even filters, like it allows you to kind of just go with the flow when you need to, but kind of give it a try and see if it works for you. If you've got like another strategy that you do, let me know in the comments, because I'm just personally curious, but you also might help out other people as well if they're reading through the comments. Yeah, I would love to know. So one other thing is, I think I mentioned it in the beginning of this video, but I really do want to try and start making YouTube a serious thing. And I'm really trying to stick to this schedule of one video a week or one video every 2 weeks. And one of the things that I want to try and do is eventually start a community that's off of YouTube. I want to make a one spot, like one site or something. Maybe it's a Discord. I don't know. I haven't thought all this out yet, honestly. But I want to have a place where all of us, like-minded people can get together and share things that are working for us, share productivity related things for creators or people with ADHD, or, just people like us that, we're not like the normal people. Like, we're a bit crazy, than the normal people. Whatever, it's okay. But, for a place to get together and share like helpful things with each other. So eventually I want to start that. Nowhere near starting it, but I'm getting to the point, I swear. I'm going to start a newsletter or an email list, whatever you want to call it. I've got a link in the description, and I'll also link it up top where you can go ahead and sign up for it. It's going to be completely for free. I'm probably honestly not even going to be emailing people for quite a while, just because things are crazy right now. But I want to at least start getting people on it, so that way if they are interested in joining a community with like-minded people like myself and like you, I can notify you once I've got something figured out, and you'll be able to join. And another thing is, eventually I want to create a course on using Todoist, and I want it to be something that is both like a lot of the basics, like a lot of the basic things to do, but also a lot of the advanced stuff, and kind of walk you through, you know, piece by piece, very bite-sized sort of videos, instead of these long-winded videos like I'm doing right now. I've already begun to kind of start to brainstorm and mind map a bit of all the different things, but I know it's going to be, you know, a lot to kind of figure out. All that to say, eventually I'm going to create this course because I know it's something that's going to be beneficial to people. I've also seen a few different courses out there. I feel like they could just be regular YouTube videos, honestly. And what I'm wanting to do is something that is a lot of Todoist 101 to advanced sort of techniques and things that I use. Maybe even bring people on to share their way that they use Todoist. I have all these ideas. I don't know where they're going just yet. All that to say, if you sign up for the newsletter as well, you'll also be added in to be reminded about whenever I start to release it or kind of ask more questions about it. And so if that's something you're interested in, the link is down below. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.